Hi guys, I'm just wanting to do a quick tutorial on Notability. And here's how Notability works. When you first bring up the screen, now I have lots of notes in here, but when you first open Notability for the first time, you're going to have two files that are in there, or one file. It's called Welcome. And if you bring up the Welcome, it's a nice quick tour of Notability. It's demonstrating how I could write on that, telling you how you can take notes on everything. You can make things bigger. You can bring photos in, different ways to write. So that's a really good tutorial, and I'm just going to spend my time kind of giving you how I use Notability. So you notice I have all notes. That has all the notes that I've ever taken, 146 of them. My recent notes, the ones that I haven't, that I've just taken in the last few days, will show up there. So let's say I've taken some notes on something. I want to open it back up and look at it. I can go under Recent Notes. Unfiled notes, that will be anything that I haven't put into a subject. And over here underneath this, you've got these dividers. And let's say under the Tutor Network divider, I've got a whole bunch of different subjects. I can take, let's say, one of these, like issues with bit paper. I can put that somewhere under here. Let's say I put it under JK Coaching, which is really not where it goes. And now it's not under the unfiled notes anymore. So I'm going to take that out and put it back in unfiled. All right, so that's kind of a neat feature there. So how do we create a note? Well, one of the ways that I use it is to take notes on maybe a podcast or something I'm listening to, or even just if someone's talking and I want to focus on what they're saying so that I don't have to take notes. Here's a neat thing you can do. You hit the on the right corner to create a new note. Okay. So it comes up in white. I like to use a different background, easier on the eyes. So I pick paper, and you can pick whatever color paper you want, backgrounds. So I like to use this one, and you can use lines or no lines. You can choose the spacing. So if you'll notice up here, you'll see that there's like it looks like a little microphone recording thing. If I click that, I'm going to do that now. Let's see if it'll work. Okay, so I'm taking a note. So I am taking a note. All right, so I'm going to stop that recording. And let's say I want to play it back. I'll click over here and I'll get a little play button up here in the corner. And watch what happens. Okay, so I'm taking a note. So I am taking a note. All right, so I'm going to stop that recording. So see, what happened was it will go, when you start playing the recording, it will play back the notes at in the time sequence that you actually took them, which is another kind of cool feature. All right, so that's kind of the beginning of how to take a note. One of the other cool features, and let's say I'm going to bring up that note that I just took. If I want to do something with this text, if I want to move it around, like say I've got some other notes here, other notes, and maybe I've got like a picture of something here. I don't like the way that it's arranged. I can hit this little thing up here, just the scissors, and I can do what's called a lasso. And I can do a freeform lasso or a rectangular. I'm going to do the freeform. So I can then take this and either with my finger, if you're on like a touch screen, or I've got an Apple Pencil, I can just move it where I want it. If I want it down there, for example. All right, or maybe I realize that I want this to be over here. I just move that part of it. Okay, well, let's say I wanted some text to be bigger or smaller. Like I could make this, I can just pinch it and make it smaller so that maybe it fits where I want it to, like in the box. I could also take and I can rotate. I can rotate, make it bigger, smaller. That's kind of cool. I can convert to text, and it will either convert it or I can copy it. So if I copy it, it's now on my clipboard. If I just convert it, it actually converts it to text that you can edit. So, you know, that's kind of, I don't usually use that feature that much, but that's kind of a neat thing you can do. So really, I really love the lasso. It's just fun too. Let's see what else. Okay, so I've got also, if you look up here, we've got the erase tool. If I click that, then I can erase. And the cool thing about the erase is, like, you don't have to erase every single smidgen that you wrote. If I've got this, like down here where it says taking a note, if I want to erase the G, I just draw a little line through the G and it goes away, or a little line through the N. So as long as you get a portion of what you want to erase, it will erase the whole thing for you, every stroke that you make. So it makes it real easy to erase. And once you get used to it, it's just really cool. It won't erase text, though. You have to go in and actually delete that separately with it, like a cut. Okay, so those are some of the things that I like to use it for. I'll give you another example real quick. And one of the things that I'm notorious for doing, and that is I will get some ideas and I write them down on a scrap of paper, and then I just kind of leave that scrap laying around. Or I'll write it on the back of something. And then so I have all these scraps of paper that I don't know what to do with. I don't know how to file them. I don't know how I would get back to them if I really wanted to. So what I do, I use this feature and I'll show you. I'm going to click for a new note. Let's see, I'm going to pick, I like this little gray background too, or actually that with a little texture there. And then I'm going to, you can pick the color of ink you want. So if you tap that pencil there, I'm going to use white. It's kind of an interesting way to do it. So now when I write, it's white on gray, which is kind of a nice striking thing. I really like that. I get bored easily, as you can tell, so I like to try new things. So here's another thing you can do. And when I get little scraps of paper or whatever, what you can do is hit the plus thing over here and camera. And then with your camera, you just take a picture of whatever notes. And I don't really have anything to show you. I hit the photo. It takes a picture. Then down the lower right, I hit use photo. And now it puts it into something that I can drag around on the screen. I can crop it, make it smaller. Some other features, enable caption if you want to say what the note actually was. Okay. So that's kind of cool. So what I do is I take all my scraps of paper and I just import them with camera stuff. Using the camera, I'll have a bunch of these So if I wanted to have a whole bunch of those available, I could do that. So for me, it helps me to organize my thoughts. Speaking of organizing, let's go back to the main menu. They have a couple of ways of organizing. One is by creating dividers, and that's kind of like filing cabinets. Each one of these is a filing cabinet. And within those filing cabinets, you have subjects. Those subjects are kind of like file folders. And within those file folders, you have your individual notes. And you can move them around. You can move them to different, like I can move that calendar week. I can move it to a different, I could move it to a different filing cabinet group. I've got some notes from different meetings that we've had. AP Stats. And the nice thing is if you get a bunch of subjects in there, you just collapse it like that. So, you know, that's kind of a really cool way. Notice I have Matt Mankin video editing. Some notes that I took about when we were talking about that last time. So for me, I'm just a compulsive note taker. I like to take notes on everything. So this has been like a lifesaver. So I'm going to stop the video and then just see what questions you have.